$100,000 in grant funding to approve Taylor Road for all users, including pedestrians and cyclists. Whereas educating cyclists on the proper and safe operation of bicycles and motorists and how to properly share roads with bicyclists, including our school children, is important to ensure the safety and well-being of all. And whereas the League of American Bicyclists, Bike Cleveland, the Heights Bicycle Coalition, and Transportation greater awareness of cycling during the month of May through on Friday, May 17th, 2024, and Bike to School Day on May 8th, 2024, which brings attention to the importance of creating safe routes to school. And whereas the annual Ride of Silence will take place in Greater Cleveland on Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, which University Heights will participate with hundreds of other cities internationally by joining participants who will ride from John Carroll University in University Heights to University Hospital, where they will join other Cleveland area riders for a memorial presentation. Now therefore be it resolved those updates to the city's bicycling law. Some of those have been in effect since the late 1940s, 50s, 60s. So we're hoping to bring things up into the 21st century and make cycling more approachable for all. And just a little bit more on the Ride of Silence. I will be leading that ride again this year. Gathering outside of the Dolan Science Center at 6:30 on May 15th, and we will ride to University Hospitals, and there will be a short presentation by cycling experts, and ride back to University Heights. And with that, I will make a motion to 27.
I just wanted to note that where it says Bike to School Day on May 8th, the date needs to be changed. Almost at the bottom, second to the last. Whereas, you see it? Oh, okay.
Yes. Last whereas.
Yes. Bike to School Day on May 8th. It says 2023, but it should say 2024.
So you can send it at the next meeting.
Someone want to make a motion?
I didn't
make
make
a motion
a-
to amend this motion.
Yes, I can make the motion to amend.
I'll second.
Mrs. Thomas with fellow vote.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mrs. Zach?
Over the course of the last year and including during the process. The City of Shaker Heights piloted an initial pilot with regard to mental health response, and it has proven to be successful for the City of Shaker Heights. So, the dispatch center receives calls from folks who have present with issues where a social worker, some other professional would be of greater assistance than sending out a paramedic or a police officer. Shaker has found that this program has gotten help to people who need it, as well as ended the repeat phone calls by folks who are suffering and need this kind of assistance and call 911 for want of any other resource. This is something that Mayor Weiss and I have discussed for some time, and I indicated years ago when we were both serving on the Heights Hillcrest Regional Dispatch Council of Governments that our city, together with the other HHRC cities, would be ideal for an expanded pilot, and that's what we're looking at now. We have the support of the county, we have the support of the Adams Board, we have numerous grants that $60,000 commitment that first year. That's been whittled down to just under $15,000, with also an amount that's even less because future participation payment is based on square miles, and we're fairly densely populated.
So year two, the contribution would be $5,380
Yes, yes. So these, whatever the next council meeting is, with the intention of approving so that we can get this online and do more to help those who especially need the assistance. Mr. Brown?
Stated it well made there, and I think, like I said, the intent is to cut down on police calls through the service and how people that have these repetitive calls can not only be there to help them on the calls, but hook them up with resources and ongoing treatment. Certain sector of the mental people that are suffering from mental health that aren't getting treatment, that suffer from substance abuse as well. So that's another resource where we can help people referral to those types of resources. So hopefully it will, in the long run, save police response time, and so that they can dedicate their resources to more serious emergencies and, like I said, get the segment of the population the help they need.
Yeah, one of the things that we have found, and there's been a national discussion about this, is that we rely on our police to be the one-stop solution for so many things. And it is not in any way a commentary on our own police department or any other to say that there are some things that a mental health professional would be much better at doing, and it would be more appropriate to send. And in situations where there's any question with regard to that person's safety, the police, of course, are still part of this. But as time goes on and situations become more known and knowable and familiar, there will be some situations where simply the mental health professional can be dispatched. These are all things that have been worked out, in Shaker, and this is a model that we want to scale up to these 5 communities, and the county is especially interested because they'd like to go countywide with it eventually. And by eventually, I mean as soon as practical.
Chief Rogers, did you want to add anything? No pressure.
Not at this time specifically, other than the program has our, from the police department, and support and overview that we got from Shaker Heights PD has been very positive. So we look forward to having a resource like this in the field as soon as possible.
Thank you. Any comments from council or any discussion? I'm extremely excited that University Heights can be part of this. I will make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance 2024-28. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks? Aye. Mr. Cooney?
Aye.
Mrs. Wise?
Aye.
Ms. Marshall? Aye. Ms. Weiser?
And on the main ordinance, is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Marshall and Mr. King. Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks? Aye. Mr. Cooney?
Aye.
Mrs. Wise?
Aye.
Ms. Marshall?
Aye.
Ms. Weiser?
That passes. Agenda letter R, ordinance 2024-29, amending section 892.03 of the tax code relating to exemptions of the city admissions tax ordinance. I know that Mr. Kennedy worked on this.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is something I came across after I first arrived here a number of years ago, and had various discussions with the former law director and assistant law director. I can't find any record of the city ever enforcing the admissions tax, so I recommended back then that we probably pursue eliminating that section that would apply to primarily sporting events at John Carroll University. And after Mr. Bryan came on board, that was on my list of discussions item with him, and I think he concurred with the recommendation. The alternative is to start enforcing that, which would require us to coordinate a lot with John Carroll and probably not produce a significant amount of income. So my recommendation was to eliminate that kind of ambiguous language there and just keep the regular admissions tax applicable for other items.
Yes, thank you. And I remember this was discussed many years ago, and for some reason I'm not exactly sure. It never came to council. I think it got lost in,
I think we had it on a finance committee once a couple of years ago also, but
I think it just got lost in the shuffle.
And just to let everyone know, I mean, it was enacted in 1947, the last time any update was in 1982, so.
Okay, this
Right
is,
for attention.
this is on first reading, so is there any discussion or any questions for Mr. Kennedy? I don't think he needs to go to finance committee. You okay with that, Mr. Kennedy?
I'm not gonna hear the end of this. This is gonna go on for long.
Okay, agenda letter S. Ordinance 2024, amending exhibit of the salary ordinance related to a city non-bargaining unit position to include position of senior service coordinator and establish the pay range therefore and declaring an emergency on first reading. I'm not sure who would like to discuss this.
I'll go briefly, if I may. I know it says on first reading, I would be gratified if it were to be taken upon emergency and passed this evening. But this is to formalize and add to the salary ordinance the senior surveyor position that we funded at the last budget. We have a placeholder on the website for posting the position right now under the employment tab, it just says coming. But we would like to one since Mr. Stinson prior to the pandemic. And seems like a long time ago at this point. It wasn't really that long, but long enough that I think we're ready to resume having a part-time senior services coordinator. I know that Melissa Fisco, our HR manager, has worked on this together with Mr. Bryan. So, Mr. Bryan, if there's anything you want to add about the particulars, please do. Thank you.
Just that the last salary ordinance for non-bargaining employees did not include a position or a salary range. This would amend that schedule to add the senior services coordinator position at the pay rate range of $32,500. It's a part-time position.
So I just had a couple questions then at the time, Ms. Sarah. So this is a part-time position. I'm not sure. Our part-time, this was, I'm a little confused with why this is on the agenda, because usually part-time positions are not presented on the agenda.
I don't think there wasn't a salary range, so, I mean, I think there's no mechanism for the mayor to pay the person, and Mr. Kennedy can pay the person.
Yeah, I mean, it was recommended to me by both the HR manager and by the law director that we needed to do this, which is why we're here. So, I want to know, advice on this, of course. And I mean, we're envisioning a person who's working 20 to 25 hours a week, doing this work to assist seniors, do programming, do outreach.
No, I mean, we've had this before.
Yeah.
I'm just, my computer shut off.
Okay.
I just, Ms. Sacks, do you want to ask your question and then I'll get back?
Thank you. So that salary range, okay, so I don't have it in front of me for some reason, so I have to separately. I saw it.
It came on the email
Okay,
today.
so I can't find it for a second, but some of the positions have little hourly rates, and some of them have ranges, but I don't recall seeing them part-time. So I just want to make sure that is, and I'll make sure, understand, is that range based on an FTE? And then if they're if they're 20 hours a week, then it's half of that Or is that based on 20 hours a week, and it's really double that? It's not clear, because it's mixed, mishmash.
Yeah, I guess to answer on the part-time, there are a couple other part-time positions on the list. The finance associate,
And it's hourly,
One
or
or
that's,
two.
yeah, that's why it's not consistent.
some are hourly, some are arranged, finance directors, part-time,
This is my question that I had. Every other part-time is hourly.
Yes.
assistant clerk accountant.
This is the only thing that is salary. That was my question. I don't understand why the senior service coordinator, and we need a senior service coordinator. That is not my question. We need one and we want one. And even if that hourly rate is high, that's fine, but it should be consistent on the base pay range rate. If every other part-time status is hourly, this should be hourly. That's my only comment on this. The other comment that I had in my notes is, who made the job description? Because it's a little strange.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody read it.
HR.
Vice Mayor, and there is nothing in the qualifications that indicates anything with experience in dealing with seniors and what they need, which is like you could take somebody off the street with a bachelor's in anything and say, here, program for seniors. If they're 24 years old, do they know this job description is written?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this firm is just pulling templates, because we've had this issue before with job descriptions, and council hasn't seen all the job descriptions, which is fine because I know that's an administrative role, but the ones that we have seen are not as professional as they should be. And there's also, this is not specified to senior services in my opinion, and what Ms. Weiser said, and also toward the end of the job description, there was some very odd language.
Is that what you said?
That's sort of a...
Well, it says in here you could do communication skills and such, and that's, you know.
Sounds like a description for city council.
It was just very,
Is there, what can we, why don't we throw this to a committee and let them take a look at it?
No, I like the HR.
I'm being serious, Mr. Cooney.
I know, I'm not.
I mean, this,
I'm nodding yes.
It says
Maybe
here
it needs to go to recreation
It's
and for some further discussion, since this sort of relates to recreation, some of them, the one with the seniors. But I'm sitting here running across a lot of things. I'm happy to move to refer this to the...
If I may, the ordinance is some of these concerns. The thing that we're asking for today is simply that the position be added to the schedule so that we can go ahead and post the position.
But how
And,
do you
and
post
we are not, we're not asking you to approve a particular position description. But this is here simply qualifications and so on. Happy to sit down with Melissa Fisco about that before we post the position. But we developed administratively with the assistance of our HR manager.
So you tabled and brought back that the base pay be consistent and be hourly as all the other part-time status.
turning around and say, we're going to include the position of senior deal with seniors. If
We'll take into account the job description clarifications. I think it's in the best interest of the city to have a qualified senior coordinator. I would hope that he would do that, but ultimately, the reports of standing committees. Building Housing, Ms. Weiser.
once again, there will be a building and housing committee meeting at 6 p.m. before the next council meeting. we will finally begin to deal with the safe build contract. And there are a couple other items that were carryovers, and I'll have an agenda out to everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Weiser. Community outreach, Mr. King?
Yes, Vice Mayor. Sent out a doodle poll for a community outreach committee and technology advisory commission meeting. Could not get a quorum, either a quorum of the committee or in combination with the administration and staff needed for that meeting. So I'm going to need some poll for that later this week.
And Mr. King, you reached out on the committee, and it seems like we need to reappoint some of the citizens members.
Yes, yeah. I had reviewed the section of our code organizing the Technology Advisory Commission, chapter 284.01, Community Outreach Committee. We'll have to reappoint so the Community Outreach Committee appoints the commission, the Technology Advisory. That meeting appoints the members of the Technology Advisory Commission before starting the commission.
Was there like a list of people by council that they had arrived, so we need to take care of that?
Yeah, there's, I actually have that right here. I don't know how much we want to dive into that this evening. But yeah, there's a combination of the school board member, a member from the library. I actually don't think we have representation from the school board right now, but I'll organize something before that meeting occurs.
Development, does anyone have a report from staff?
You can purchase your 2024 Purvis Park pool passes on the city's website. And judging by the temperature here,
No report of
Service and utilities, Mrs. Stacks?
Thank you. There's a meeting on June 10th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Committee of the whole, we have a meeting on Wednesday at 6 p.m. to discuss the RFQ for our facilities. And we will also have a schedule 2 weeks to